Liberals and centrists at odds in Democratic election analysis. The Democratic Party's losses in this week's election have sparked a fierce battle between the party's ideological wings over what went wrong and who is to blame. Some liberals say the party hasn't moved left enough to excite its base. Many centrists argue he has moved too far to the left, alienating moderate voters in key battleground states. And Democratic leaders now face the challenge of easing tensions and uniting rival factions to form a united front against President-elect Trump as he prepares to take office for a second term. "It's going to be a big challenge," said Representative John Larson, Democrat Connecticut, a former chairman of the House Democratic Caucus. "This debate is not new. Democrats have clashed repeatedly over party strategy after a difficult election year, and the battle lines are the same now as they were then, liberals versus moderates. But this year there was much more at stake. Before this week's election, Democrats had warned that President Trump posed an existential threat to the nation's democratic foundations, and their fight to stop him from returning to power was portrayed as nothing less than an attempt to undermine the republic and save the institutions that support them. Following Trump's stunning victory over Vice President Harris on Tuesday, the intra-party battle over the party's strategy, message and direction has reached a new level of urgency and intensity. For some, the party's problems revolve around false messaging on economic issues that are debated at the kitchen table, such as accelerating trends in inflation, wages and wealth inequality. For others, the issues stem from the explosive debate over the Israel-Hamas war. Still others have issues tied to the culture wars, such as issues over transgender rights. Whatever the issues, Tuesday's election results, and the ensuing tally that has rocked the Democratic Party, are sure to drain the party's oxygen for some time to come, as politicians, lawmakers, donors and strategists sift through the ashes in search of answers and try to figure out why so many voters left the Democratic Party behind Trump this year. The early stages of this process are becoming public. Senator Bernie Sanders, Independent Vermont, a liberal icon who has built his career on economic justice issues, made waves this week when he said it was no big surprise that working-class voters were flocking to the Democrats. They turned their backs on the party establishment because they had abandoned them for the money. "The American people are angry, and they want change, and they're right," he said. Moderates countered that it was actually the progressive movement that doomed Harris and the Democrats on Election Day. Many pointed to transgender rights, an issue that Trump's campaign focused on in the closing days of the campaign by spending tens of millions of dollars on anti-trans ads. Representative Tom Suozzi, Democrat New York, who won his Long Island battleground district by 2 points this week, told the New York Times that Democrats are in trouble because they're bothering the far left. "I don't want to discriminate against anybody, but I don't think biological boys should be playing girls' sports," he said.